Welcome, everybody, here to the X-Bomb Sports Live Show. My name is Andrew Valentin, and I hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday. We are, of course, coming to you live here from the Illinois Media School here in Lombard, Illinois. Again, wherever it is for you, ladies and gentlemen, day or night, I hope it is just right. And with us is the little stinker himself who just has to cause so much chaos and mayhem. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back once again, Mr. Drew Gwillem. Drew, how the hell are you, man? How you doing?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Really?
Not me.
Yeah, you're nothing but the angel.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry for wanting to have a little fun. Believe this guy?
I'm not saying it for my benefit. I'm saying it for the benefit of others.
Hey, respect your elders.
All right,
okay?
fine.
If we want to razz people, we're going to razz people.
That's fine.
It's all in good fun.
That's what we do here, folks.
Yes.
That's what we do. Otherwise,
hi, guys.
all good.
How are you?
Yes, there's TJ Knacker, our man in back, our production, and of course we've got Mr. Tom McKinney as well. You guys doing all right back there?
Yeah, we good.
That's it? That's all you got for us?
That's all Tom's got.
It's not a mic check, Tom.
What's
You
it
can
like
speak.
being in your 30s? Because I'll be there in about like 5 months.
I feel like a spring chicken.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And what do you got? You're gonna be I'm gonna be the next one in line anyways to hit there in April. So
Yeah,
Man.
so.
I forget how young you guys are.
us whippersnappers are.
Yeah.
Remember, Cameron's 26.
So's Tyler. So yeah, Tyler's 26. Yeah, he is. He doesn't sound like it because he's got the big deep voice, but yeah.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Well, I mean,
Tom got it.
He does, man's he's not shy. Let's say that.
Yeah, wow.
But folks,
That's good.
yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely. Folks, though, we got a lot to talk about today. It is a football-filled one here. And then, of course, we're going to get into your fan questions. So, as always, we appreciate the questions that you guys ask. Just sports stuff. That other stuff will come at a later date, though.
Lies. I have plenty of questions.
Does it involve honey like the pre-show conversation we had?
Oh, yes. Yes.
God. All right. Well, without further ado, Drew, are you ready to get into it, my man?
Oh, yeah.
Then let's
Some fun football.
Let's do this then, folks. So we just had the NFL Divisional Round. It popped off. We saw so many, I would say, pretty classic games, I think, for this one. This felt like a really good start to it.
-1.
Yeah, minus one, of course, obviously. But started off with, obviously, Jacksonville Jaguars. They came really close. They had a nice win there at the very beginning against the Chargers. Then ultimately kept it close here against the Chiefs and an injured Patrick Mahomes. But the Chiefs pull it off. But it does feel like Jacksonville is potentially on the verge of potentially jumping to that next level, Drew. So what do you think about Jacksonville and the run they had thus far? Obviously, what do you also think about what happened in this game? Your thoughts?
I think for the way they started the season and then to, again, make that jump.
Yeah.
They made that jump. They had growing pains from the start, new head coach, all that working together, new receiving options. Everybody getting on the same page takes a little time.
Absolutely.
Okay? And you saw that throughout the season.
Right.
But what they did was progress, improve, and that led to them making their first playoff berth in a while.
Yeah.
And
since 2017, I think it is, right? 18?
I believe so, somewhere around
something like that. Blake Bortles was the quarterback at the time. Says a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad. But with Trevor Lawrence at the helm and the receiving weapons that a lot of teams thought, overpaid for. Well, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not, because they look like they have something going there. Plus, another year, Calvin Ridley will be back. A lot of people may have forgotten about him.
Yep.
They had traded for him during the season. And if he can come back to what he is typically known for doing, that's a pretty damn good player.
Yeah.
Added to what they have. Look out, because this is a team on the rise. Made the playoffs this year, wasn't expecting to. So I think the future is bright for this team altogether.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As far as this game went, for them to, I guess, Patrick Mahomes getting a high ankle sprain early in this game didn't help things.
All right.
But Chad Henne came in, led a 90-some yard drive for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And the guy's been around for a long time. He's
Certainly has.
He's been a great backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Started for this Jacksonville team at one time himself, but for him to come in and lead that big drive on the backed up on their own goal line was huge, because that could have changed the whole outlook of this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was good for them. It's the Chiefs all around. They're a good team. You expect them to be at this point. For Mahomes to come back in this game and do what he could, this guy is ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
All the way around. He is exactly what you want in a player and a quarterback, all the way through and through. So just seeing these things, it still hurts a little. Still
the sting of 2017.
Yes, of knowing that the Bears could have had this guy.
Right.
Again, fine, whatever side we have.
Yeah.
Fields.
Hindsight being,
yes. I think the future, like I said, the future is very bright for this Jacksonville team. They're just not quite ready to beat a team like Kansas City, even with a hobbled Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's for this game, obviously, Mahomes coming back in. I mean, he's a competitor. He's going to want to play. I mean, kudos to, obviously, Chad Henne. Obviously, they keep him around because of the fact that he knows his offense. Makes a lot of sense, but it's Patrick Mahomes. You want him to be in the game.
Right.
Especially when a game is only a touchdown away like that. Like, Jacksonville, had they had just another minute, may have been able to take this thing into overtime. I mean, they had some shots.
Yes, they had their chances.
Had what?
Whoa.
What's the whoa
Let's
about?
talk about this real fast.
Yeah.
If the officiating actually called roughing the passer right, Jacksonville probably scores on the one where Trevor Lawrence literally gets his head pounded into. There were many missed calls that on Kansas City that they were calling against Jacksonville, like the pass interference, the one on Chad Henne on that drive. I don't think that was pass interference, but the one on Trevor Lawrence, that was clearly pass interference. He hit him high, hit him in the neck and head in area, and to not even call that, I think there's a lot of questions on what this is the new catch. What is roughing the passer?
Which they tried to figure out
right
in the offseason, and then led to like create some crazy calls.
And we've seen it all season long,
right.
But now we're getting into the time where it's playoff time. Are we going to see something like this in the Super Bowl that's going to cost the Bengals or whoever a Super Bowl? Like that could cost a team a championship. We've seen it with catcher's interference in MLB a few years ago in the World Series. That cost the Cardinals a game.
Right.
Why all of a sudden are we seeing this now? And on top of that, the last time these two teams played in the regular season, Jacksonville had 14 penalties called again on them, and Kansas City had 0. There alone, that tells me that there is something wrong with officiating, and it is having a major impact on these games. And once again, the NFL is protecting their key players, but also not protecting a key player who, in all hindsight, is going to be a superstar in the future. So what's the difference between Patrick Mahomes and Trevor Lawrence?
I get what you're saying. I totally agree that officiating has been pretty bad this year altogether.
Yeah.
And those roughing the passer calls have been pretty awful.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, too many mistakes were made. The turnovers.
Don't disagree.
Especially even against the Chargers when he had 4 interceptions in the first half.
I mean, yeah.
Those kinds of mistakes are what leads you to lose by 7.
Right.
You know, it's a team that makes the least amount of mistakes is usually the one that prevails. And when it comes down to playoff football and Super Bowl football, you can't do these things.
If he doesn't throw that interception, they probably go in for another touchdown. They were on that momentum.
And again, it's a lot of what ifs that you play with it.
Exactly.
Granted, you never know what's going to happen, but you need to expect missed calls. You need to expect things to not always go your way. That's why you can't make mistakes in the playoffs against these teams. And I do believe that Jacksonville will work those things out. They have the coach for it. They have the leader at quarterback. You see that guy in the tunnel? He's waiting for all his guys.
Absolutely.
Tough one. They'll be back. They're not going anywhere and they work those things out, and yes, they'll be able to fully beat a team like Kansas City.
No, yeah, that Jacksonville is not too far. I mean, considering that they really put this together with some makeshift players that everybody had a lot of question marks on, like Christian Kirk. I'm not saying you're going to put him at the top of the list now as receivers.
Right.
But he did get 1,000 yards. He led the team in receptions. Zay Jones was really earning his money because everybody said way overpaid for a guy that should be in the slot. Well, clearly he's a solid number 2. Evan Ingram finds new life. Travis Etienne has become what everybody expected him to be.
Right.
There's life in this team now. I think a lot of it is due to the fact that no longer is one coach there, and now you have another who has
somebody who actually knows how to coach.
Exactly. Super Bowl experience growing quarterbacks, was a quarterback. Obviously, he got Carson Wentz to almost MVP level. Like, what can he do maybe with Trevor Lawrence? We're seeing the effects of that now. So
it's a really good situation they have.
Absolutely. There. So Jacksonville's on its way. Kansas City, though, is just it's an overpowered team at this point. Chris Jones is really good. That defense still fairly solid. They're not as strong as they were last year, but they still have pieces there that can stop them.
They always seem to play defense in the playoffs.
Yes,
playoffs
absolutely.
comes around, and that defense really gets
show
going.
up.
Yeah,
they always show up.
Is this what we want to see the Bears at next year? Because I truly believe the Bears could be fighting for a wild card spot next year.
That's tough, but
I think they're a lot further off than that.
It's going to take 2 free agencies and drafts, I think, to get there.
But again,
I'm not saying make the playoffs, but at least fighting. I mean,
I think they could totally jump to
6 and 11, 7 and 10
wins.
I'm looking at Green Bay, who I think is going to struggle. The Lions are hit or miss, and all honesty, I'm sorry, Detroit fans, but I don't know where your team is at right now, especially at quarterback. I don't think Goff is the answer.
They look pretty good this year.
I just think they're so void of talent that they still have a long way to go. Yes, they can make that jump because how many games this year did they have were one-score
We were
games?
the opposite of the Vikings.
Yeah.
In one-score games, we were the opposite of the Vikings.
Well, the Vikings got a new injection of life with Kevin O'Connell coming in there, and he's like, this is how we're running the offense. It's all run through Justin Jefferson and the passing game, and then we'll occasionally get Dalvin Cook in there to kill the clock and give some Kirk Cousins a break, give him a break. So, I think the Bears can certainly get there. It's just going to take them a longer process because one thing about a lot of these teams right now in the NFC, especially in the NFC North, every single team I think you can say has at least an identity. I think the Bears have a player that you can identify as their top player, but they don't have a culture and
like
identity.
Like a franchise quarterback, maybe?
At least, he's the guy.
Yeah,
He's the guy.
Yeah,
Whether he can take the franchise to the next level is yet to be seen, but
we'll get him someday.
Maybe.
At least he's off the DJ Ugalele drama.
Hey, you never know.
He's not coming back.
He could be something at Oregon State.
No,
that's fine, guys. He's not a Bears fan anymore. He's a Bengals fan.
Yeah,
that's right.
Forgot.
That's right. I root for.
Don't talk about our team, okay?
That's fine. That's fine if that's how you want it.
Talk
We're
trash
not even
about our
talking about
team.
their team. He brought them up anyway, so. Shut it off, and we move on to the next one now. So we go into, obviously, Philadelphia playing against the New York Giants.
You mean TCU?
More or less. It's a very good representation of it. But Eagles obviously wiping the floor with the Giants.
Yep.
We knew that this was probably going to happen because they had beat them all year long. To go 2-1 against your team, against a team, is hard to do. You beat them before, you can do it again. So I ask you, Drew, obviously with this win, it's a strong one. This Giants team did a great job to get there. Your thoughts on the game, and do you think that the Eagles right now are the team to beat in all the NFL, or are there others that still loom over them, do you think?
They're really good.
Yes.
They're really good. Offense, defense, that running game is scary. They have A.J. Brown. I'm going to go with yes.
Okay.
They're deep. Okay. I get it. Purdy's playing great.
Yep.
They're maybe not so much this past game, but
right.
Their defense is the best in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But Philly's defense is pretty damn good too.
Yeah.
Mixed with better quarterback, comparable weapons. That game's going to be really good.
Yes.
Really good, really exciting. Could be very back and forth. But I think I give the Eagles the edge because of Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
He's potential MVP this year. I thought Buffalo was going to jump in on the other side, and I was really kind of looking forward to seeing like a Buffalo-Philly Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think between Hurts and Josh Allen, between their throwing and running back and forth, that would be a very fun matchup.
Absolutely.
Maybe not so much the way Buffalo has played the last 2 games so far or in the playoffs, but I see no reason why Philly can't be the team that goes all the way. Yeah. Unless for some reason Jalen Hurts' shoulder is really bothering him. Mm-hmm. Because going forward, he's gonna have they're gonna have to do more than run the ball a majority of the time.
Right.
So, especially against the San Francisco defense, who could stop the run and stop the pass really well.
Yes.
So it's gonna be a tough matchup, but I think Philly is, to me, they're the leader of the pack.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with that. I think right now I would say they're certainly top 3 teams in the NFL. They think they certainly right now sit above everybody else, not just record-wise, but I say this again. I think they're the most complete team in the NFL when everybody's healthy, and it seems like everybody's healthy. Right. Like, they've got every position pretty much locked down with somebody who is an impact player. I think they've got 8 Pro Bowlers, if I'm not mistaken, and they don't have anybody at linebacker, but TJ Edwards is a machine as of a tackler. They still have Hassan Riddick, who comes off the edge like a freight train and still fast as ever. Like, yeah, it's hard to find a hole in this team at this point. And I don't know if Sirianni is the coach or not, but he certainly has the coaches around him, right? I mean, Steichen and Shannon, right? Those are these 2 guys for offense and defense. They do a tremendous job. I mean, and kudos to the Giants. Obviously, Brian Daboll, I think, coach of the year. He did a great job to get the Giants to where they are.
Right, and look what he did with Daniel Jones.
Yes.
So that compared to
past, I mean,
it's clearly his best season yet.
Absolutely,
and probably the season that's going to get him a nice contract.
They said they're going forward with him. If that means that they think there's more potential in him, great. I still think they may need to look at another upgrade at him. It's hard, but
I think
if you can get more out of him, good.
I think, again, with same as the Bears, terrible weapons around him other than Saquon.
Richie James is his leading receiver.
Yeah,
so.
that's not gonna do it.
Right.
They need much more at the receiver position. I think Bellinger is going to be a nice tight end for them.
Yeah.
He did well as a rookie this year, so I think they have something there.
Yeah.
It's just getting more weapons around him. Is Saquon still going to be around?
Right.
What kind of contract? I think he was wanting somewhere around $16 million a year.
Yes,
he's
$16 million a year.
It's a lot of money to pay a running back.
He's looking for a Christian McCaffrey deal.
Yeah.
Right. Which obviously
with a running back who's had an ACL injury.
Right, and that's the tough thing is that the cost of him. But we're gonna get into that here in a little bit. But oh yeah, it's coming. But speaking of obviously Brian Daboll and a former team that he used to be a part of, you had the Buffalo Bills who played the Cincinnati Bengals, and certainly we talked about this as being possibly the game of the week. This is going to be a lot of fun. And it really kind of turned into kind of a one-sided match where...
Pretty much from the start.
Yeah.
This game was so boring, I turned it off.
Which was so surprising to me to see, especially this game.
Right.
Everything that happened when they met a few weeks back.
Yes.
And now going into this one, and that's... the performance we got out of Buffalo.
It's shocking to have watched this game play out. And this is the 3rd straight time now they've been bumped out of the playoffs by another team, right?
But this guy, this Joe Burrow, man, this guy is a dude, and he is not, no moment is too big for him. He is cool, calm, and collected through everything. Never has a look of worry on his face. Like, I don't understand how anybody, like, you see it out of him, you see it out of Brady.
I mean,
you don't see those moments of like, oh crap.
Yeah, there's never. I mean, occasionally, even Brady and Manning, you would see like the anger come out of these guys at times when certainly frustration would be, especially this year with Tom Brady, you saw frustration come out a lot. But there's something about Burrow, and I think I believe he's the son of a coach. I think his dad was a coach at one point. I think there's something about that because you see that even with a guy like Andrew Luck, right?
Yeah.
Like he's laughing at dudes as he's getting hit. Like there's something about being able to shake it off or play it off and be able to not sweat the small stuff and things like that that really lead to, I think, great quarterback development and ultimately lead you to being a star because Brady didn't sweat the small stuff. Manning didn't sweat the small stuff. Hell, even Eli to some degree was not bummed at all. Like in the Super Bowl, he'd throw a pick and he'd be like, all right, well, we're coming right back. And like you don't make that David Tyree throw. You don't make that throw to Mario Manningham on the sideline if you don't have the ability to be like, shake it off, get back into it, let's go.
You don't win 2 Super Bowls without that kind of mentality.
Absolutely. It's 2 incredible New England teams. Like, that doesn't happen at all.
The year Brady threw for 50 touchdown passes, Randy Moss was like...
Broke all those records, undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated season until the Super Bowl.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It does not happen. But I say this also, too, because obviously it seems like there's certainly growing frustration in Buffalo. And just a real quick question for you. I mean, maybe sort of a stupid question, if you will, but do you think Buffalo is going to have to reevaluate some things for this team and maybe make some adjustments? Or do you think that it's going to be add more pieces potentially, maybe gain back a Von Miller that was injured kind of thing, and they'll be okay? So shake it up or stay the course, you think?
If you're not making adjustments in the offseason, you're not doing your job.
Okay.
So every single team in the NFL, I don't care if you win the Super Bowl or you're the worst team in the NFL, Bears, picking first. I don't care which team you are. If you're not making the adjustments, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
Well, the Rams clearly didn't follow that philosophy.
Yeah.
Well, they said F those picks, and now they're realizing, we need those picks.
They were hamstrung because there's not much they could do.
Right.
See, these other teams, they're trading. They have a lot of money on the books, too.
Absolutely.
I get it. But, these guys are being traded for picks, and you could upgrade it for cheaper.
Yeah.
Which is very well an option for this team, too. Like, McDermott was talking about Stephon Diggs on the books for a lot of money and blah, 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 and that's why they weren't able to do much. They still have an offense that that's good enough to
They were still averaging
win.
like 29, 28 points a game or something like that. They were still up there.
Yes.
My big issue going into this game was I did not realize how injured that defense was until that game started, and I was like,
They were beaten up.
this
didn't help.
This might hurt the Bills because, I mean, we've said it before. I said it last week. You hear it all the time. Offenses don't win championships. Defenses do. And unfortunately, this defense was banged up, and they were missing key players.
Have to make stops.
And they lost another key player in the secondary mid-game.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that doesn't help.
Who was filling in for a starter.
Yes.
Right.
So, like, this game was boring in my opinion, but to learn mid-game that they were missing all these guys was just one of those things that I was like, oh, well, I can kind of see where they struggled on defense. Yeah. Now, the other thing I want to throw at you guys, Eli Apple, most hated guy in the NFL.
Is he?
All right, wrong person.
I don't think he's the most hated. I think he's just the most memed guy in the NFL. I think he's memed more than anything.
I think he's one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I think he's got to be one of them.
He's like I saw it today. Somebody was saying he's the Patrick Beverly of the NFL.
Yeah. Okay.
He makes some plays every now and then, but he's really just annoying.
Yes.
And
if he's on your team, you love him. If you're playing against him, you hate him.
No,
Yeah,
Bengals fans hate him.
Yeah.
Ask him what happened in the Super Bowl last year.
But you know what, though? Good for him because he's getting in people's heads.
I mean, he batted the ball away from Gabriel Davis in that 4th down. That was critical for the Bills to kind of get back in the game. So, and on your opposing side of it, too, I don't want to stop you on it, but as well as defense, I mean, the offense needed to show up, too. And for everything Josh Allen tried to do,
disagree.
I mean, they couldn't get the ball in the end zone. And as good as that team is, like Diggs and Davis, and they got to find a way to get in the end zone at some point.
They need a run game.
Yes.
They have no run game.
Not just Josh Allen.
Yes. They have no run game. It has not been good, whether it's making a big-time upgrade or hoping that James Cook becomes something more, or you just feed him. But, you know, I think the Singletary, it's time to move on from that. Because
it's just not working.
It's not giving you a quality run game to add with the passing attack. So you left more one-dimensional, and they get away from it.
Yeah.
And then what do you and then you have defenses keying on your receivers, and when guys aren't making a ton of plays,
Right.
what are you going to do?
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Josh Allen can't keep running the football.
No, he's going to get
He's
killed.
going to get hurt. Somebody's going to take him out at the knee at some point or at the ankle. I mean,
He's already
something's
had
going to
an
happen.
elbow issue
Yeah, exactly.
because of it this year.
So the Bills, I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Got to shake it up a little bit. Whether that's just adding a player to the roster and trying to not remove as little as possible. But I think there's some guys you just have to look at and say, are we going to keep them? Can they restructure? Because I mean, Von Miller's on the book for a lot of money too, by the way. And
find somebody that makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a really good player, and you may have to move on.
Yeah.
Trade him away for whether it's picks or another player that's cheaper.
Yeah.
At the same position, but they have to make some kind of change because
Absolutely.
for what's expected of them, going out in the playoffs the way they have the last couple of years is not acceptable.
Absolutely. And if you want that kind of, I mean, just ask Green Bay what's going on right now, which we'll get into that tomorrow, folks. So a little teaser for you. And
Karen.
Yeah, last but not least. Oh, Karen, we love you. That's not the next but not least.
We don't.
No, 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 we don't. Well, we love Karen. Aaron is a different. They're two different types of people.
No one likes Karen.
Karen cries a lot, which, how do they cry again, Drew? My favorite.
Yeah.
Favorite. That's definitely going on a shirt.
Whiny little.
We had Cowboys at 49ers.
Can that shirt make Drew look like a Karen?
I mean,
Yes.
it's his shirt,
With
so.
the beard with the Karen haircut.
No. No. I'd kick my own ass if I had a haircut like that.
If we get fans that want it, we're making it. I'm sorry. It has to happen.
Well,
What if
it's his image, so
Yeah.
it's him being licensed.
We have me on a t-shirt
Yeah.
like this. Wah.
It's copyrighted. Nobody else can use
Yep.
that. So San Fran, obviously.
I got to get something else copyrighted so we can.
Yes.
I'll tell you after.
Okay.
It's great. It's going to be great.
San Fran played Dallas, always an instant classic. They've done it millions of times before. Well, not millions, but quite a bit. It's always been a determining factor on usually how the Super Bowl sometimes plays out. But San Francisco and Dallas put it down to a nail biter, and Dallas kind of missing the boat on this one yet
Blew it
again.
Yeah. Because Dak Prescott's out there listening to Chili Peppers. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.
Yeah. I like that. Nice,
All the time.
Nice reference.
All the time. Oh, yeah. Here's a mirage for you last week. Thanks for winning against Tampa, who had, 8 wins?
I was going to say, it's
9 wins?
It's amazing that he goes from probably having his best game of his career to suddenly having, in the playoffs at least, one of his worst games, I would say, by far.
Yeah, he's making the same mistakes consistently now.
Absolutely. But outside of Dallas, I mean, we could talk for them for ages, of course, but not to. I say this again, like I said yesterday. Like, keep in mind, folks, as much as you laugh at Dallas, just remember, like, the team that you do root for, remember where they're at. Because, like, Dallas was in the playoffs. Give them some credit.
Right.
They did finish well. I don't put this on Mike McCarthy. I put it on the man at the top, though.
No, I put this all on Mike McCarthy. First off, I don't care if your kickers missed several field goals, extra points in the last couple games. You're in fourth and 8 in field goal range. Kick the ball, get the points. It's a way different game, and you may lose by 1 point, and that one blocked extra point would be a key factor. Now, what was that last play that they decided to run? Why do you have Ezekiel Elliott lined up as center? Put a center there for. What is the center going to do? I don't care if you put the offensive line out to help block for a receiver. On top of that, why are you throwing the ball all the way down into the middle of the field instead of with no other wide receiver or any Dallas Cowboy player around just for him to get lined up or to get tackled right away? If I'm in that situation, I'm running a little screen, throwing it back to Dak while you get your receivers downfield and just throwing the ball up in the air. Who cares? It's the end of the game.
I mean,
what they ran right there was absolutely terrible play calling. And the fact that you're not taking points, you're taking points off the board for going for it on 4th and 8 instead of just trying to go for the points. Now, if he misses it, you bring in the backup kicker that you have on the sidelines and give him a chance on one of those. And if he misses it, then I don't care at that point. I don't know what you do because obviously you have a kicking problem and you have Cody Parkey 2.0 and 3.0 on the sidelines.
Got the yips because he was really good all season long.
Yeah, he was like 50 for 53 on the year. His career's like 90%.
Yep.
He's been really good. But I mean, listen, in terms of the coaching in this game, yes, Mike McCarthy, not a good job. But come on, Jerry Jones as the general manager, he makes all the moves, he shakes it up. But aside from all that, the big main question I have though is, Drew, do you think that San Francisco can make it to the Super Bowl and possibly win it with a rookie quarterback like Brock Purdy at the helm? Obviously,
hey, put some respect on that man's name. He's Mr.
How am I
Relevant.
disrespecting him?
Mr. Relevant.
He's Brock Purdy, okay?
He's Mr.
Calm down, everybody.
Relevant.
He's had a handful of games that he looked really nice in.
Undefeated.
He's gone to the playoffs.
Undefeated.
Okay.
But Drew, for you, what do you think for this situation?
Yes, they can.
Okay.
They can for sure get there.
Okay.
Dallas has a very good defense, and Dallas's defense played like the defense they are against San Francisco.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's going to add into Purdy's struggles.
Yeah.
Okay, he's got another tough defense he's going up against, but at their best, when they're both defenses are playing at their best, I still put Dallas's ahead of Philly.
Okay.
While still very, maybe not that far off,
Right.
but still very, very good. So he's going to have another tough game.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to make more plays than what he did
Yeah.
in this past game. Can he? Yes. We've seen that. We've seen him make some very, very nice throws.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a guy that has made their offense better since he's been on the field. Their offense has more yards, points, all of that since he came in and was their starter.
Yeah.
Showed the graphic during the game of all the stats on that.
Right.
And they were much better with him there.
Absolutely.
I don't see why that will change. Everybody has a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guys believe in him.
Yeah.
That's shown. The coach believes in him.
Right.
There's already said that he's going to be their starter next year going forward.
Yeah.
So, yes, I believe they can. It's going to be tough. I still pick, like I said earlier, I picked Philly, so I think they're going to win. But there is a very good possibility that San Francisco moves on and makes it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Drew, I kind of agree with you on Philly's and Dallas's defense being almost alike. Now, something I did see is the escapability of Brock Purdy, especially when he had Micah Parsons coming after him.
He's going to need it again.
He's going to definitely, but I don't think Philly has someone to that caliber of Micah Parsons. He's going to need to escape this weekend.
Yeah, not many do. But I think the way
they attack by collective, but Eagles attack by like a collective group, not so much one guy doing damage.
I think Reddick at linebacker is a very good shot. His ability,
his first step is insane.
He's quick, he's fast, he's a beast too. I think if he's very capable of playing that Micah Parsons type of role and chasing
even
him down.
Brandon Graham can still get it done at 35, 36.
I want to kind of pitch to both of you guys.
Yeah.
The video I saw was on Twitter, and it was someone breaking down almost every defensive play Micah Parsons was effective on.
Yeah.
And him just being able to slap that offensive line around. But at the same time, it's like that offensive line still put him in check. And I don't know if the Eagles defense, yes, they have those talented players, nothing compared to Parsons.
Right.
But I don't know if this defense can push this offensive line around the way Parsons can. Because Parsons was going out there and just smacking guys to the ground.
It's difficult.
Yeah. And San Francisco has a very good a very good offensive line.
And Purdy's escapability, I think, is on par for one of the best in the league, especially at his young age. I'd put him up there against Patrick Mahomes.
He's feeling Purdy back there.
Oh, I know. He loves
all day long.
Birdie.
Let's go.
You are.
I am so I have said to people,
He's
Brock Purdy
flying high
wins
with
the
Purdy
Super Bowl.
Birdie, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting a Brock Purdy jersey. But do you think Brock Purdy's going to be able to continue his escapability all the way to a Super Bowl run with this offensive line having to protect him the way that they have, especially going back-to-back weekends with two very similar defenses and that have explosive guys like a Parsons and you said
Reddick.
Yeah, Reddick.
I think the difficult thing on this is that the San Francisco offensive line is not bad, but the problem is that their anchor is on Trent Williams.
Right.
He's clearly the best tackle, best offensive lineman, I think, overall in the league. He showed it. I mean, you watch his tape in that game. He put on a clinic on how to block on pass and run at the offensive tackle spot. Really, offensive line in general. The rest of it,
one of the best in the league.
yeah, the rest of it is kind of just makeshift guys, unfortunately. Just kind of journeyman kind of players at this point. I mean, some of them may still have ability, but I mean, yeah, Micah Parsons, he threw one guy. I forgot who it was. He threw him to the ground. I believe he was your guy, in fact, Mike McGlinchey. Yeah, it was Mike McGlinchey. He threw his ass down. It was Mike McGlinchey, I'm telling you. But even still, it's going to be tough.
I think he'll be able to do a little more back there with scrambling, because I will say, for me, I think Philly has a better secondary than Dallas.
Yeah.
But Dallas has the better front seven.
Yes.
So I think Purdy's going to have a tougher time throwing the ball. I think they're going to have better luck with the run game this week. They can work a little something off that, little rollouts for him to try and get some guys open. But again, for him to be able to scramble some too. So I think it will be a better chance of that this week than last week.
He's very much similar to Jimmy Garoppolo, but he has better legs underneath him, which allow him to extend plays and make those plays to George Kittle and Debo and Christian McCaffrey and all that, which is good and it's great. But this is one of those defenses that they don't need to blitz a lot. They only blitz a few, and they drop a lot of guys back, and they will look for him to throw turnovers and take advantage of youth and inexperience, which he seems to be a poised guy for as young as he is. But that's James Bradbury and Darius Slay back there. TJ Edwards is still a great coverage linebacker in his own right. I mean, they've got guys that can go make plays. They're not always looking to get the sack. They're looking to turn the ball over and give themselves chances. That's what the Eagles work on a lot.
And they
do it a lot.
Two of the best.
Absolutely. I mean, Bradbury was top 3 in like coverage yards per catch or something like that. And Darius Slay was knocking out number 1 receivers left and right.
That dude's a player for sure.
Absolutely.
He's awesome. He's awesome to watch cover stud receivers.
It's insane. It's insane to think how good you add one guy and you're like, yeah, Bradbury, why not? And it just changed everything for this team.
Yep.
Unbelievable. And we'll see what happens with San Francisco. Obviously, we're going to talk about those matchups tomorrow when we do our AFC, NFC championship pick. Well, it's not the pick. It's the playoff pick for us, ladies and gentlemen. No more pick 6. Because we only got 2 games left, and then it's time to 1 game left. That's going to be the Super Bowl, folks.
Hey, put some respect on the Pro Bowl. I'm kind of excited for this year. I'm just intrigued to see what they're going to do with it. You got the
Manning brothers coaching it,
and they're doing something different. They're trying to shake it up. I kind of am excited. I'm probably going to tune into it. I may not watch the whole thing, but it's intriguing. They're trying to change something. They're trying to make the fans enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know the NHL is doing the same thing with their All-Star game. I know all these leagues are trying to do something with their All-Star games, and it's good to see that they're trying to explore new avenues instead of sticking to the same old boring.
The way it was going was not
It
good.
was dull.
Yeah.
I still say what I said from Blow the Whistle. I said I think they should just put the parents out there of every athlete and just have
Come
them
on,
play
man.
the
Some
Pro
of those
Bowl.
guys are like 70.
Exactly. That would be amazing.
No, I
Come
don't
on,
want to
old
see a
people.
broken hip.
Nick,
Like, geez.
like Bosa's dad, him and the mom, they got to pick sides. Come on.
What are we serving Metamucil before or after?
What side of the
I mean, I'm not a
couch
fan of
he's
the
gonna
Pro
be
Bowl
on?
as it is, so.
Don't drink your prune juice before the game. You get hit and you're going to poop yourself.
Absolutely. I will say the fact that they're talking about bringing the competitions back, like the QB competition, all that, I like that because that's the kind of stuff that I liked watching, if anything, for the Pro Bowl. That's some fun stuff.
If they're going to bring that back, can they at least do that on Saturdays and not Thursdays like they've done the last couple of years?
Yeah, right.
Because
Please.
it is so hard to watch. That's something else I want to complain about real quick. Just 2 seconds. Why was Sunday night's game starting at 5:30, but Saturday night's game started at like 7? Like, that's 2 different times. Why not start it at 5:30 so that these people can enjoy the game and still enjoy a Saturday night instead of that game ending super late?
I thought it was 2-5
Yeah.
the one and 2-30-5 the next.
No,
5-2 to 30,
the-
5-30.
I
unless
think
it was
so.
because the Bills game went a little longer, but that game I don't think still started till like
Well,
7 o'clock.
Yeah, you may be right.
He
It
might
was-
be right. Well, you got to remember,
It's like a night game.
you got to remember too, like there's other programming they have to work around at
It's
the same
playoffs.
time.
Who
Like,
cares?
It's
the NFL.
easy for us to say
It's
that because
the
we like sports, right?
NFL.
We don't
It's
care
the
about Miami
NFL.
90210 or whatever might be on at that
It's
time, right?
The NFL, they stopped 60 minutes for the NFL. They put it on later.
I understand they
could
own a
stop-
day of the week, but
it doesn't matter.
I know, I get it, but
Who watches 60 minutes? Come on, let's get
I'm
real.
My
just-
grandparents
I mean,
probably.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just saying, like, there are other things you have to worry about in a TV network that make other things that make money, right?
They
The
can stick
NFL.
their tape in the VCR and record it.
Hey, man, I thought I was the only one with a working VHS around here. Jeez,
I have a VHS and DVD player.
so do I.
Nice combo.
It can record on both, and that's
I was
why-
trying to transfer all my VHS tapes to DVD. Couldn't figure it out. It's like, this makes no sense.
breaking the
I think
machine.
you send them out somewhere. Yeah.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time because we got to get out of here soon. It's time for the fan questions. We'll make this as quick as we can, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, any questions you have for us, xbsportsofficial@gmail.com. Please keep them coming. And obviously, if you have some other stuff you want to say, you're more than welcome to. Don't care if it is hatefulness or whatever. Most of it either goes in the
keep your
garbage.
hate- Nah, I'm gonna just.
No, direct all hate to me. Bring
Keep
it.
your damn
I
hate to
want it.
yourself.
I want
Yeah.
the heat. Let's go.
All I can say is thank you so much for watching.
Hey, guess what? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. Okay, and that's fine.
Or maybe
That
don't.
doesn't make somebody's opinion or someone's asshole wrong.
Yeah.
It may make you an asshole.
It also-
Find me on Twitter. Find me on
also-
Twitter. Bring me the heat.
You
I
also
want
don't
it.
have to put it out there in public too if you want. Like you don't see a lot of people out there with their asses hanging out in public, do you?
Well,
It's a
Well,
lie.
I
It's
mean,
2023.
yeah,
Everybody's got
a lot
their
of people
asses
need
hanging out.
belts.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people just don't even realize that half their crack is hanging out of their pants.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
All right, well let's get to these
to
questions.
each their own.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get to these questions. So we have our first question, and this was Timberwolves trauma. This comes from Alan. Alan is actually from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Alan has to say for him, he says, I'm sick and tired of watching the Minnesota Timberwolves be so, hey, he used some other explicitives in here, just lethargic and, well, nice big word in there, and average. I'm tired of this Rudy Gobert thing not working. I'm so glad they're talking about trading him. Do you think the Rudy Gobert trade was the worst trade in NBA and possibly sports history? What do you think, Drew?
Man, I wonder if he's a Minnesota Vikings fan too. Because boy, you got it bad. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's rough go.
Choose
for you.
another team, man.
rough
Come
go.
on.
Even the Twins too.
Yeah, for everything that they gave up and what they're paying him
Yeah.
to not produce. Like, didn't we kind of see the writing on the wall in Utah?
Yeah.
He was on a downward projection with them.
I mean, if anything, he was just plateauing. He wasn't
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know where his career is going because
Yeah.
he was a really good player at one point. When he came into the league and was starting, he was a great defensive guy, blocked the hell out of the ball.
absolutely.
Not huge on scoring, but
That was never his kind of forte, it seemed.
right.
So-
But he was still a guy down low that you could dish the ball to and he could dunk it on somebody, no problem.
Absolutely.
While blocking anybody in the league.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I don't know where his talent has gone, but yeah, it's looking really bad right now.
He's averaging 13 points a game with 11 rebounds a game, but he's also day-to-day at this point,
Yeah.
and he has been for most of this season, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So,
Is he better than Ben Simmons?
yes.
Still.
Yes. Because Ben Simmons is stealing money.
Don't get him going on it.
He's stealing money. You know what? Okay.
You know what I'm trying to do.
Come on, Tom, you know better than that.
Well, we actually opened, so just real quick, we were opening cards, obviously, with Unpack with the Knack. You guys can check that out, obviously, here on X-Bomb Sports as well. Every Wednesday, we're going to be doing it now, just before X-Bomb Sports. We actually opened a pack, and it had a Ben Simmons card in it of him taking a jump shot. I know, right? Like, it looked like he was in his gym.
That's one of those. That's
thing.
one of those like mistake cards that's worth a ton of money because it's not real.
That's why I said keep it. I was like, we can't let this go. Like, I'm like, of all things he's doing, he's taking a jump shot. That's if they would have been from the 3-point line, that would have been even
That's
better.
not real.
No.
Yeah, no. He was probably actually doing it, but he actually passed.
Right.
It was mid. He was
was
up there
a
and he took a jump.
mid-air
He was like, whoop. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, no, Rudy Gobert, as far as this is probably one of the worst trades I would say in NBA history. I don't know where the list is of worst trades in sports history. I think it's pretty up there, though. 5 first-round picks, impact players coming off the bench. Walker Kessler is one of those guys that counts like as a pick, I would say. He's doing really good for the Jazz.
The Jazz are looking real smart.
Jazz are looking really good. I mean, they've loaded up on draft picks between 2 guys. And only one team so far is benefiting from those trades in Cleveland. That's it.
I have a list here of 20 worst.
We can't go through all 20.
No. But I'll say a couple. Number
Just
20.
give me like the top 5.
All right. Well, one of them's AJ Pierzynski to San Francisco for Joe Nathan and Francisco Liriano.
Ooh, that was a bad one.
That
was bad.
So top 5: Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Brett Favre to the Green Bay Packers for a first-round draft
Oh,
pick.
yeah, that would rank.
Kobe Bryant to Los Angeles for Vlad Divac.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
God.
Idiots.
Charlotte is kicking themselves in the butt to this day.
Yeah.
Bill Russell traded to the Boston Celtics.
Oh, that's right. Because the other team didn't want a black center.
And
How dare they?
and how do we forget this one?
Racist pricks.
Right?
Babe Ruth for a musical. The terms were
That's right.
Boston Red Sox trade future baseball god Babe Ruth for $100,000
Yep.
and a $300,000 loan to finance the No Nancy musical.
Yeah.
What is it? John Paxson trading second-round picks for money? Great move.
Oh, why do you got to bring that up? Such a pain. All right, next question we have, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, bringing up Paxson. It has to deal with the Chicago Bulls, believe it or not, folks.
At least it's not the Blackhawks.
Yes.
No. No.
Sorry, Rich. Couldn't even ask the question. So Rich is actually from Illinois. He said, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to ask it. Should the Bulls trade for LeBron James? And he says in real big caps, I'm so sorry.
Richard, what's happening? No. Thank you for apologizing with it, but
Yeah.
no, because guess what? They're going to have to trade way too much for
Yeah.
LeBron.
We don't want him.
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of his crybaby stuff.
Yeah,
Did
one,
you guys
I
see
don't want him on the team. And 2, what is he, 38,
Did you guys see the
39?
video?
He's 38 years old, going to
Yeah.
be 39 here soon.
Did
Yeah.
you see the
No.
video of him recently getting made fun of for his hairline? He was walking off the court at the end of a game, and someone was like, hey, you're going to stay as long enough as your hair keeps receding or something like that.
Right.
And he got really upset and was like squaring up with the guy. But yet, like, you have people kicked out, but yet you didn't want to kick Shannon Sharp out for getting involved with players. I don't understand his philosophy on any of that. I don't want that drama.
Yeah,
He's a locker room drama that makes no sense to have here.
That was something else we got asked about the Shannon Sharp thing.
And just
Let's go
all
off
the
on
times
that.
where
No,
in
yeah,
press
yeah.
conferences where he just totally makes up things that he said, or it's like,
if it
oh yeah,
goes well-
I told the guys this and blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
The
It's
other
like,
issue-
no, you didn't, because everybody was just confused on what the hell you're talking
Right,
about.
The other issue is exactly that. Is if it goes well, it's all his job. It was what he did.
Job well done.
If it goes wrong,
never
it's
gonna be his
never
fault.
His fault.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
No,
look,
I don't want him here. No.
I've said this before. Like, if the trade I saw for him was like Caruso, DeRozan, and Patrick Williams, and no picks. Last time I saw it was like no picks on that. It was players for the player himself. If I were the Bulls GM, if I were Carter Sofas, I wouldn't do that. Is he a leader? Is he a stabilizing force? Absolutely. He does that for a team for sure.
He doesn't bring us a championship.
No,
If we make
this
that
team
cha-
is not
there's
going
no
to a
way-
championship with
unless
him.
he's coming here, and DeRozan and Levine are staying.
Right, which is not probably going to happen.
And I guarantee if that trade were to happen, it would be in his contract that the Bulls have to draft his son.
Yeah.
And I don't want any of that.
No, Bronny, which by the way, Bronny's going to be in the McDonald's All-American game. He'll be here in Chicago. I mean, There were other guys more deciding, although I think some of them were kind of like, I don't really need the McDonald's All-American because they're all human highlight tapes at this point. Jesus. But look, LeBron, 30 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 7 assists. It's all good. However, it isn't only 38 games because he was hurt for a while there. He is 38, going on 39. It would be a nice addition, but it's at the end of his career. It's for money at that point. It's kind of like an ooh and ah thing. Maybe if you traded Levine for him and kept DeRozan, I think it might be able to work better. But I don't think it necessarily is like, oh, Bulls are winning a championship, right? Like, you put him in Cleveland, like, that's a different story. Him over Isaac Okoro, no brainer. Duh. He's better than Isaac Okoro by a milestone, of course. But no, LeBron to Chicago, too little, too late. You had your chance when you said you're going to South Beach. Yep. You made your decision.
And supposedly that decision he made that decision actually live on air. Like, it was down, he was going to Chicago.
He was still thinking about it.
Yeah, it was like last minute, supposedly.
Just like Kobe was coming to Chicago too.
Well, he used that. Let's be honest.
Were all coming
he used Chicago as a threat to get his money from Los Angeles and get help.
Kobe was never coming here, but LeBron was, everythting that I've heard is
he teetered on it.
When they asked him where he was going, it was Chicago, and as he spoke, it was, no, I'm going to South Beach.
He teetered on it because he saw, all right, Derrick Rose is there, and there were other guys there at that point. But ultimately, D Wade is his friend, Chris Bosh is his friend. He was going to go play with his boys. So, and that was the ultimate final decision. But no LeBron in Chicago. Please, no, thank you. Would have been nice in a past life, but too little, too late. All right. Next, we've got, oh God, what did he do now? Sorry, real quick. King B-Mac just sent me a picture of. So I'll just show this real quick to the camera. This is Ben Simmons stealing money with a ski mask on. King B-Mac, I love you, baby. This is awesome. This may be my background for a while. That is great.
You shocked you're going to make that your background?
No,
like, come on now.
Well, right now it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex chasing somebody saying get exercise.
All right, if
that is great.
Hey,
B-Mac, thank you so much.
Can you put a T-Rex chasing Ben Simmons with money falling out of the backpack, please? We will make that a shirt, and you will automatically get a free one.
I'll work on that in Photoshop for free for my own sake. All right, let's get to this last question here, folks. So this last question has to do with the Bears. As I said, we talked about this previously before with Saquon Barkley. And I'm sure you, as well as everybody else, has talked about this or heard the question. The question is, obviously, Saquon said he wanted $16 million a year. He's looking for the Christian McCaffrey contract. Big question is, should the Bears... this question also comes from Austin. Austin is actually from Chicago here as well. Austin says, I know they don't need a running back. Obviously, they did pretty well without having that top running back. Justin Fields did well on his own. But do you think Saquon Barkley would be a good fit for the Bears, even at the price that he's at? The Bears can obviously afford him, and he would take the pressure off of Justin Fields having to run the ball all the time. That would allow him to be able to concentrate at being more of a passer and not have to make every single run all the time. What do you guys think? Thank you. And by the way, thank you everybody who sent in these questions. We appreciate it, guys. I know you guys have a lot of questions. We'll get to them as we go along. But Drew, what do you think, man? Saquon to the Bears. Good idea, bad idea? Where do you sit on that?
The thought of him and Fields together makes me smile.
Of course.
It would be a pretty ridiculous duo.
Right.
It would be just the RPOs you could do. Oh, is he handing it off to Saquon, or is he going to take it up the gut for 60 himself? That would be scary to teams.
Yeah.
That would be game plan against both of these guys, and we still might not know what the hell's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still tough for me to pay a running back that kind of money. I get it. They have tons of cap space, the most out of anybody in the league this year. It's still tough for me.
Right.
Don't forget.
They can find a guy in the draft that could do some really nice things as well.
Don't forget, David Montgomery is also a free agent this year. Now, if Montgomery's willing to take a discount and come back, do you then go after Saquon and pair them up together and have a dynamic?
No,
backfield?
I don't think that's going to be...
I don't think it could happen. I don't think it will happen, but...
Saquon wants to go somewhere he can be like the back. He doesn't want to go sharing time with anybody.
I think he would be the back. I think Montgomery would strictly be third down type guy.
But I don't think even Montgomery wants to be that. That's part of the problem.
I know Zeke.
Yeah.
I know Zeke's willing to take a discount. He's already come out and said that. No, I'm being dead
Yeah,
serious.
I know.
With Dallas, because he's still
Yes.
under contract.
That's the only team
but
that's
he's
going to give him
He's
something.
a free
though.
agent at the end right now.
I thought he's got one more
No,
year.
he's a free agent this year. Now that's the other thing. What about Tony Pollard? Are you taking a chance on him with now needing surgery on his foot?
If I'm on the Cowboys, I sign him. Not to a giant contract, but you're signing him.
What about the Bears?
If he's available,
Yeah.
I would throw him a contract. He's a big, physical, fast running back that people are. He's like the size. If he could play wide receiver right now, if he wanted to, and probably would excel really well at.
But remember, that is an ankle injury that I believe it was. I don't think he broke his leg. I think it's his ankle that's beat up or broken or whatever.
I think
Whatever,
they said he broke his leg.
Yeah,
I think,
that's what I heard.
That's what I had heard.
Broken leg.
But
you can you can recover from that. You get the right. I mean, with technology today and the way that therapy is,
ankles
you
are
can get that back.
still one of those injuries. If it's his
You
ankle,
have to be cautious on it, obviously, because at any point it's such a tiny piece.
Yeah, and if it's his ankle, if it's his leg, who knows?
Right.
But they'll have the medicals on that and make that decision.
Yeah, and the same thing goes for Saquon. Tore his ACL a couple times now. You have
Once
to be
in
concerned
Chicago.
about that.
Yeah. I think it's tough to pay
I think there's other
a
needs.
running back that much.
I think there's other needs for the Bears to focus on.
Absolutely.
Free agency.
They have needs everywhere.
Tackle, receiver.
Everywhere.
I'm going with like offensive line they need to focus on, defense they need to focus on. We'll see what this receiving core can do next year. I'm
Offensive
telling
line,
you right.
defensive line.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm more
hey.
worried. I'm more worried about the defensive line and the offensive line more than anything right now.
I mean, this is a year where you can go get like Orlando Brown Jr. as your left tackle.
Mike
move Braxton
McGlinchey's
to
a free
right.
agent.
You can get defensive line, and then you can go draft your receivers if you want. Like that's how you can play it. Or you can take Will Anderson Jr. at number 1 if you want, or Jalen Carter, however you want to play
it
it.
sounds like it's a pretty weak draft. It's a very weak draft for receivers altogether. So if
this isn't
not
the year
route
for
they can go,
receivers.
or they try and find some guys later on in the draft where they may not. They may be one of those second round diamonds that
There's a chance for them to grow. There's a lot of guys in this.
There are every year. While
Right.
it sounds like it might be a weak draft, guys that just develop
Right.
and make themselves into players.
And if you put them in the right system and you get them with a quarterback, and certainly Justin Fields has the tools to be able to be that guy, to be that type of quarterback. Like you get him the right receiver, if you get Quentin Johnston from TCU, big physical receiver, I mean, Justin Fields can have a field day with that, right? Or Jordan Addison, who's a good size and very fast, can work with that too. Like it's all about what you can get and where you're going to be at, and also how you're going to maneuver through the draft.
We're going to learn a lot about this GM
Absolutely.
coming up soon.
This is going to be a test for him.
Yep.
It's going to be a test also for Eberflus coming the preseason on how things happen. Like this is the moment for the Bears to start saying, like, we got these guys for a reason. Time to shine.
Breaking it down's the easy part.
Yes.
Finding the talent and filling out your roster with talent, that's
a
clearly,
lot more difficult.
That's clearly the hard part.
Yeah, absolutely.
And reports are that the Colts have offers ready for the Bears, and the Jets have offers ready for the Bears for the first overall pick. So
I mean, if that's
there's deals out there that are being made, they're just waiting to pull that trigger.
Well, no reason to do it now.
Yeah.
Have your conversations, but wait as long as you can to get all the information and have everything you need figured out before you say yes to that.
Absolutely. And folks, obviously it's a long road down the line for the NFL draft and everything, but for Saquon, I think it's fair to say we're kind of on the probably not situation right now.
I mean, if they do it, I'm not going to be upset.
It's not the worst deal in the world, but it's obviously you're committing a lot of money to a position that right now, unfortunately, ranks on the lower side of wants and needs, where there's so much more you have to fill in. So it's all going to come down to whatever Poles decides is best for the team, how he discusses it with Eberflus. Obviously, they got a new president, so maybe Kevin Warren may have some insight. Who knows? All I know is that they better get that stadium built ASAP, please. But that's going to do it for the questions. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Please keep sending in the questions, all the comments, everything like that. And that's going to do it for the show here, ladies and gentlemen. We do appreciate it, ladies and gentlemen. It means so much to us that you send these questions and everything. So please, again, keep them coming in. Drew, as always, man, it's such a pleasure to have you. It's always good to have you on. So I'm just so happy to see you here, man. I really am. So
It's always good to be here.
absolutely, man. Well, please let the people know where they can find you, listen to you, all that good stuff, amigo.
Right here on the X-Bomb Sports Live Show Wednesdays and Thursdays when opportunity is available. When cars are working.
When cars are working and
cars
obviously
are working and
life situations
Yes.
maybe in the change
Yes.
work, which I will hold off from refraining from saying until you feel time is right. I'll let you be the one to judge on that. But
yeah, life in cars.
yes, life in cars.
Isn't that how the world works?
That's how it's working right now. Well, I'm in the same boat as you because my car just is like, yep, you
Wait,
got to put more money in me. And I was like, no.
Wait, do you have something you want to say?
Do I have something I want to say?
Yeah, you said you're in the same boat as him.
Yeah, I have a car that costs me over $1,000 right now as far as everything else.
Don't do it.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Don't do it.
I think I'm going to ride
There's
this
my
one out.
recommendation. But, if you want to check me out on social media, Instagram at ddagwill25 and Facebook at Drew Gwillem.
Absolutely. Guys, give him some like, give him some love, give him a follow. Ask him all your questions for the love of God, please.
Sure.
I've had enough of them, but real quick, obviously I want to say thank you, Hannah, for popping up real quick on the stream and then probably leaving.
Hi, Hannah.
Thank you. Yes, we will keep up the good work. We appreciate it. Obviously, big thanks to the boys in the back, TJ Knacker and Tom McKinney for doing their thing. TJ for doing everything and Tom's just here. So
I'm pushing buttons back here.
yes, absolutely. You can find Tom McKinney, obviously, right there, McLovin6193. Or do you want to give your stuff real quick?
Yeah, McLovin6193, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat.
Yeah, he's back, folks.
Bring me the heat.
so
Stop
lethargic.
sending the hate to them. I want the hate. Let's argue.
There you
I
go.
am so ready to argue.
Argue with Tom because he's got all the time in the world to do it. TJ, what about you, man? What do you got?
Well, you can find me, back here for X-Bomb and for Blow the Whistle and on the show, Unpack with the Knack. And yes, we did get some interesting ones, and we may have to do an all-star group for I open those packs again because
Oh, yeah.
little shocked with some golfers and some singers along with the Michael Jordan card. Little off-putting, but that's
Yes.
okay.
Wow.
This pack of cards we opened up today.
Oh,
it just
trust
had
me,
everything.
I walked in at the perfect time.
Yeah, he walked in. Yeah, some lovelies were also in there as well. So yeah, absolutely. But definitely go follow TJ, guys. Unpack with the Knack every Wednesday. We're gonna be doing it from now on Wednesdays, just because time allots for all of us to be able to kind of do it and get here and all that stuff. So be on the lookout for that. If you guys want to follow me, I'm at The Fluffy Guru on Twitter, but I'm also at Boom Crew Captain on Instagram as well. If you guys want to see any more of the show, check us out at facebook.com/Team X-Bomb Sports. The live stream, links, updates, all that kind of good stuff. You can also catch us on the YouTube and on the Twitch side as well every Wednesday and Thursday, 5:30-ish, 6:30-ish, around this kind of time. Sorry, hunger burps are coming up on me now. Also, if you want to follow us on our social media as well, we're at X-Bomb Sports on Twitter and Instagram, where you guys can catch all of our stuff as it starts to go up more. You guys can also then, again, any questions, comments like that, xpsportsofficial@gmail.com. Podcast stuff. We've got Blow the Whistle every Monday, 2 to 4 p.m. on the SportsDownChicago.com radio show. We've also got the TV side every Tuesday now. They're back. It is to TBD, but we're going around 2:30, 3 o'clock, something like that. Myself, David, and Tyler, we're doing it. So it's right here on the YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook streams. You guys can also check out our boy Brandon Januska doing his thing at 102, or excuse me, wrong radio station, geez, 94.3 WMKR. He's doing Genuine Radio down in Taylorville. So if you're going down way, check out our boy on the airwaves in the morning. You can also listen to him at Baseball Banter with Brandon on Spotify, Anchor, and any other podcasting platforms you can find him on. While you're on Spotify, check out Money Motivation with Hannah B., our very own Hannah Brummer, who just messaged us. You can check out her amazing podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Odyssey, all over the place. While you're listening to her, if you want to hear her on the radio, she's at 102.3 XLC, doing the afternoon drive, 3 to 7 p.m., so she's about to get off the air here real soon. And then in the mornings, you can also hear at 96.7 The Star, doing her thing with the amazing, the legendary Mr. Eddie Volkman himself, and they are killing it right now, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute great show. Hannah, if you're still watching, Love the show. Keep it going. You guys are
Listen
doing a
to you
great
every
job.
morning on my long drive now.
Absolutely, yeah. You're one of the best things I listen to on the way to and from work whenever I can get a chance. So I appreciate it. Also, too, ladies and gentlemen, along the way, check out the parlay. That's right. It's Tony Lopez and former professional boxer and Chicago Bull Kendall Gill doing their thing, talking about boxing, MMA, combat sports, all that good stuff. They're in a new season. Go check their stuff out. It looks incredible. They just had some new episodes drop. Go check them out. And finally, if you need any help for your fantasy football needs, tips and tricks for next year, check out check out the Fake Football Guys on YouTube. That's at Fake Football Guys. You can follow them at AskFFG. If you have any questions or comments, things like that, hit them up. Again, at AskFFG on Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. You can find them. For next season, we're going to be coming back. We got another season coming up of fantasy football. Hopefully, I can beat them this time instead of just coming in third, but I kind of did beat them anyway. So for first time in, not too bad. So check them out, guys. Fake Football Guys on YouTube and all other streaming platforms. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, much love. Peace out, Boom Crew.